get your finger. Oh, yeah. She's a hurting unit. One hurting unit. We're going to see the translation. Here's this first half, and here's the rubber band. So that one's got the second half.
So she's coming up tomorrow.
That'd be fun.
See her 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Good.
Reading on the change on the golf cart for it.
How's Marianne? I bet maybe change the season.
Hard on.
We don't know. People have a lot of allergies.
We also have a new fire chief.
Huh?
We have a new fire chief. Did you guys know that? Oh. Clayton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Our election last Thursday. Yeah. Clayton.
Was it time for Brad?
Brad's, yeah, he got a new baby. He's got a new role in life. He got a new baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, good.
I thought Weiss was the first.
Yeah, he was for 10 years, then he retired. And then Brad was for a year, like twice as it, assistant or whatever you call it. And now it's going to be Clayton's turn.
See where they're looking for the Wayne Township, out there. They're looking for the township trustee down there, because he took about $40,000 out of the fire department's money, they can't find him.
You can't find him.
They can't find him anywhere.
Well, they will find him.
That will get him far enough.
I think, yeah, the grand total, that was just from the fire department, I think the grand total was about 120 something.
That won't be far enough either.
No.
Okay. You reviewed that.
That's a different set of risks.
There's a lot of papers in there.
I'm pretty sure they come out.
My box is full.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got a few minutes here. Oh, before we get started. Sharon, how did we do on direct deposit on paychecks? Is that, we got that on there?
I talked to Chris at the first month, and I'm going to get with her and, I can't think of her
He
name.
Richards.
No, not Steve Richards, some other lady that is actually the one who has the
For
building.
inspection.
And the way I understood it, there's a fee for
But
this.
that's what it's.
that be right?
How was the balance we keep? No, you talk, if they tell you that, let me know.
Something about $25 is the least amount they would charge.
They might have a one-time set, they might have a one-time set it. Well, you let me know if they say that, because I'll make a call. Because the balance that we keep there, they shouldn't charge.
So I said, well, we're gonna try
And I
to
think
start
if
it
that's
this
what it was,
year,
do it that
but
way.
we gotta.
Adjust it.
Yeah, well, let me know, because
I
like I
don't think
say,
it feels that strongly about it.
I wish I could think that girl's name. I know her from when I was there at that bank.
because when you have a,
She's the one that goes around.
Well, my only concern would be making sure that position's filled so permits can be issued, over the next month.
okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Dowling?
But I guess he's not in the anyway, so that's okay with everybody.
You know Mike Woody, Joy. I know, I'm still working, so, okay, well, we'll go ahead and start with our pledge. It's Dixie tonight. Dixie's gonna do it tonight. Hey, Dixie.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to understand the fire alarm is disconnected from the fire station.
Where's the new chief?
Is that the reason we have a new chief?
Turn that off.
Oh, they got them all over the place. That's just.
Well, we got trucks.
Yeah, I think it's a training aid. It's a training room. I
It's
think
working so
training.
far. That used to be a bar.
At least you waited until we get
Oh, man.
Okay, Sharon, you can show all that council members are present and review agenda. It's a standard agenda, not much going on other than that. And our first up, she's not here yet, Emily. And I had 2 emails from her today. I know she's coming. Okay. She and Jeff might be somewhere talking. Okay. We'll go ahead and proceed to the minutes of the November meeting. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Any additions or corrections? Minutes will stand approved as submitted. Okay. Financials. Sharon, what do you want to start with?
The revenue.
Revenue. Okay. I see you got the check from my insurance company on the fire hydrant.
Yes.
Good.
And then, this 21057, you're under, general reimbursement, that is Staples. And, other than that, there is just the regular,
Now tell me again how that works. Staples sends us a check for $210.57, and then they turn around and send us our account, and we pay that back.
no, that's a credit. When it's in parentheses, the credit.
Was it in parentheses?
Well, it's $210 credit.
Well, you pulled that bill. I thought I added that up.
Well, they sent me a check for $210. Was that general?
It was one of them that's not, it doesn't have this thing with it yet. It was next to the last one, in that stack. It's the next to the last bill. I thought. Anyway.
Oh, well, this is the latest one. And it does have things on it.
It has the $210 $210.57's added
It
in.
says debit adjustment, that means that they sent us a check for $210.57.
If you add that up, what's that add up to?
It adds up to, well, I don't have my calculator, I don't know.
That's okay, I thought it, okay. Because the first item is what, $400 and some?
Yes,
And the total bill is 900 and something?
no, it's 700.
700, so we have 300 additional and,
I only paid $526.90.
so you took the 210 out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because they sent us a check.
There she is. There's nothing outside. Pardon?
Is it not a lot?
Are you kidding?
Just let me.
Just let me.
I didn't get it turned right then, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I have got a couple of bills that I'm going to box, so I need to go get her friends against approval.
Right ahead, we're gonna be right here.
Okay, we're going to move on.
No, we're gonna finish up what we're looking at revenue right now. We're gonna give you a chance to get unpacked. And when you can unpack.
There's 4.
39 won't matter. There's a fire alarm going.
So, Sharon, another question I had, not on this, but now this is December. Now our check's gonna be, what, about 68,000 from the county on general?
It's about between 60 and 68, I think. Somewhere in the 60s.
Okay, and then will we get the back half of the city and town court costs? Will we get the back half of that this time? Or is it-
Well, no, it'll be January.
Okay.
And we'll have to gather those and take them down there.
Okay, I was just trying to get an idea in my mind of where we might be at the end of the year. What was the other thing I was thinking? So we have that coming from the county, we don't have the court, everything else will be pretty much as what it is, right? Okay. Anybody have any questions on our revenue?
No.
And then appropriation report.
Well, it's, okay, appropriation. Anybody have any questions on the appropriation report? Okay, so if I'm looking at this, but this does not have all that stack of bills that,
No.
yeah, but we're gonna have money left. We're, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna have that meeting? We're gonna have a meeting?
We'll have a meeting, yeah.
Will it be like the very, like Wednesday or?
You always ask for it at the end.
Yeah,
because
right
that's
at
when
the
you
end.
do anything you need to move around.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanna do?
Well, don't you?
Well, you always do that, because don't you have to have that in by the end of the night?
Well, it doesn't have to be, it could be done in January, but, just as long as we do an ordinance or a resolution to move the money and review all the claims at the end of the year.
Well, the thing of it is, if we have one on the 29th or the 30th, that gives you an opportunity to pay everything this month, so we get it on this year, so yeah, we'll schedule one. I'll write it down, because we need to schedule another one.
In this, family report. And I was wondering if the council would consider taking the payroll out of the negative. As far as, it is in the negative and it has been.
Well, that's, isn't that what we started at the year?
And
Same
and
number.
it's been, since we got rid of that dental of Marvin's,
started
paying
this same,
$47.20.
you started the year with that same amount, so.
So would that be all right, and break that down according to how the percentage?
Where does that come out of then? Just go back. Where do you take that from?
Well, it's going to have
The percentage per,
general, would you want it to MVH water and wastewater, or?
I mean, I don't, you might have to ask that question.
Okay.
Should it be prorated per account, based like you do the insurances
The
or?
bill. Okay,
I don't know.
but I would like to do that, so
Yeah,
it
you can
would
bring that
show
with you.
bill.
You can bring that with you on the December.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay, so I just want to make sure on the fund report. So right now, we have 212,000 in our general, in our everyday general, right? And,
Yes.
okay, and then we're going to be getting that 68,000, right?
I didn't bring my, so I can't remember what that was written. She wrote it down on our paperwork
Okay.
when we went to Martinsville.
But we'll have okay, I guess I'll want to look at the budget that we have. I mean, we're going to have a good carryover, but we've already budgeted part of that for next year. Out of that 212, 150 of it we budgeted for next year. Okay, yeah, that's good. MDH, we have 100,000 in it, so that's good. That's good carryover, and everything else looks pretty good. So we have 690,000 in our.
590.
Yeah. 590.
And that's about right.
Yeah.
This was pulled before I found bank statement, but I found bank statements, so.
Okay, good. Anybody have any questions on the fund report? Okay. Looks like we're gonna end the year okay. Good to be able to do our things for next year. Pay our bills on our grants. Okay. Payroll, you wanna look at payroll?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion? Did everybody look at payroll? Any questions? Is there a motion to approve payroll? Is there a second? All approve, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. And your claims, did everybody have a chance to look at the claims? Anybody see anything in there that they have a question on? No, those will, we'll get those when he comes up for his section. Anybody have any questions on any of the claims?
Nope.
Is there a motion to pay claims?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Hey, Emily, you're up.
Would you like to hear about the water project or the stormwater project?
What would you like to tell
Well,
us?
Jennifer, what do you think to that?
The stormwater project's quicker, so I'll do that first.
Okay.
I have with me today the application for payment number 3. This covers the work from October 25th to November 25th. And $168,920.48 worth of work was completed during this pay period. We're going to withhold $16,892.05, and payment to the contractor is $158,166.36. So I have that to be reviewed and signed.
We have a copy of that. You didn't have a copy in your packet, but I gave you one tonight. Stapled. No, I'm this.
Is that what the amendment number 5? Is it in the stack with the amendment?
It's pay application number 3.
We're still holding back 15,000.
I'm sorry,
We're still holding back 15,000.
of this one, that was 16. And so we're getting close to the retainage limit, so the next payout we will be holding the full 10%. So they're about 50% of the way down with this work.
the one to go?
It's behind this memo.
Oh, it's attached to that. Gotcha, thank you. Okay. Oh, I got you now. So after we pay 3, we still have 454,000 in that.
Yeah, so yeah, we're just about halfway done with the stormwater project right now.
We had our meeting,
Yes. Last week.
and I believe, if memory serves me, they're going to stop with C, finish A, B, and C, take a break and do the patching.
Restoration, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And before they move on to D, right?
I can talk on that. So in the design phase of the project, we've seen a lot of places where the storm sewer was going to be crossing water mains. And so we had to assume whether or not there was going to be a conflict. And we assumed that about 2/3 of those were getting conflict. And unfortunately, it seems like almost every single one has been in conflict. So we've had more water main conflicts and they've needed to be lowered in order to put the new storm sewers in. And so the contract unit price for those water main lowerings is $9,100 for each one. So every single one of those above the 6 that we had assumed is just added to the contract right now. And so in order for us to properly assess where we are as far as money, we're encouraging the contractor to go ahead and restore the 3 areas that they've disturbed right now, and then come back in the spring and finish the last alignment down Church Street. So that's what John was referring to just now, that they're going to go ahead and do some paving.
From our meeting the other day, Jeff, you have to correct me, but we've had the 9,100, 6 of those are covered.
6 of those were in the bid.
So we've had 2 that they've done that were not covered, so that's 18.
I think they just did the 3rd one.
Did they do the 3rd one? I knew that it was
There was
in
one
the
across the
process.
street.
Yeah, Cross Street, so they did have that one. So they've got 3, and there's a possible 4th one at the church. Okay, there might be a 4th one at Church Street. So that was going to be, we needed to come up with the, 36,000 for those, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And
And so there was a little, I think there was about $15,000. The contractor's bid was about $15,000 under the grant award. And so 15,000 of that can come from the grant, and then beyond that, the town's going to have to figure out.
we had A, B, C, and D, and we were able to do all those. But didn't we have some other little ones that we were also looking at doing, or that, it was just A, B, C, and D?
We had alternatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, for example, what's going on in Mulberry right now, we had from the ditch all the way to Cross Street was one option, and then to continue from Cross was an alternative that we went ahead and added. And then on line D, the Church Street, we could either have taken it from the intersection all the way down to the lift station and the pipe, or we could have taken it just to the end of the road and then run it as a ditch. And so they awarded the pipe the whole way. So that was the more expensive option because we wanted to try to get that done. It was the better way to do it. So I don't know if you guys want to look at maybe scaling back that pipe and doing a ditch or something like that to say that I can look at the cost difference in those 2 options because the contractor did prices for all of that.
Are you talking about South Church? Well, ditch, question.
So, yeah, okay.
Okay, well, okay, so we're, just so that we all understand, so we're going to, finishing C, then we're going to do the patching, and then we're going to be able to see where we are money-wise. Okay. And in the meantime, we do have money in our co-edit fund, and we do have some of that earmarked for stormwater. So it would be some, but anyway, we'll see if we can find the money. But you think that last one for now.
Yeah, till the end of the year.
And-
they'll
and-
come back in spring.
Well, but I mean, Church Street, there should be one, right?
Oh, you mean as far as water main?
Yeah.
Yeah, there should not, because
Because that's
water main
water
was
main.
installed brand new in that area, and we use that.
Yes, it's in the sidewalk.
So this fourth one
100%.
would be the last one. Okay.
Worst scenario, 21 grand.
Well, worst scenario is 27, right?
She's got, you had 6, and then we had,
7, 8, 9.
We have potentially 4 additional.
They're
36.
9,000 apiece, so.
That's 36, and we got 15.
Well, with that 15 though,
Well, yeah, that's.
we have something in here we're gonna talk about, part of that, right, on the ADA?
Oh,
Yeah, so there's a couple other things that are just, the first item was the sidewalk. We did this right away at the beginning of the project. We got clarification on the ADA requirements, and if you're doing a sidewalk with a curb right next to it, the width of that needs to be 4.5 feet instead of 4 feet. And so we had a change in the quantity of sidewalk because we had to add that extra 6 inches to the project. And I'm sorry, I don't recall right now what that added to the job, but I was thinking it was a few $1,000.
That was a couple of thousand, but the other one is the ramp.
Yes, and then at Highland and Sycamore,
Yeah.
it's not possible to meet all of the ADA requirements while matching the existing ground. It's just very steep, and so there's going to be some additional work that needs to be done. And when we do that, what will happen is the water that's coming down Highland will end up sitting in the low spot, won't be able to get to the new ditch. And so we sent John an estimate on putting an inlet there and directing it into the new pipe and ditch so that that water doesn't stand down the pavement. And we recommend doing, and we can talk to you, but we sent 2 options, one with 2 inlets to get it in and one with 1 and just teeing it into the pipe. And we recommend just doing the tee unless you see a real reason to do 2 inlets.
I just don't want any puddling, obviously, because putting that much money in there, then turn around and look, and there's still puddling right there in an area that we just.
The inlet, if we do the option of 1 inlet, the inlet will be in the low spot where the puddling is. The only reason that we threw out the option of 2 inlets was because it's easier to get a camera or something in to clean the sewer. There's no, that's going to be a lot higher than the first inlet, and so there really won't be a lot of water going into that one. And so it would be more just for an access later down the road. But that second inlet is very close to the end of the culvert on Sycamore, and it would be very close. I mean, we're talking about 20 feet away from the other inlet, so you should be able to access from either of those 2 sides.
One option sounds fine to me, as long as there's no puddling.
So that one is, no, that's not this. Okay, that's Andrews. I was thinking we had that change order, but we don't do it.
I have not prepared a change order yet. So now that I know you guys are comfortable with going with the 1 inlet option.
Are you comfortable with that, Jeff?
Yes, yes, for sure. Sure, I'm comfortable with the main.
No, we don't want any, we don't, yeah, no
The main
puddling,
reason, yeah, as
no.
long as there's no puddling.
There's money in
The
there.
second inlet is just mainly for camera access to check things out. We don't need that, if we have an issue, we can just stick the jetter in. We don't need to look at it, we can just run the jetter in.
But there won't be any puddling. No puddling.
No
No.
puddling, right, parentheses.
Correct.
Next
The
measure.
second inlet is
No
not
puddling.
in a low spot, so
Okay.
it would only be for access.
Okay. Okay, so a couple of things then we need to go ahead. Well, you prepare the change order.
I will prepare an FTM directing the contractor to go ahead and do that work. And then, yes, we'll have a change order at the next meeting.
Next meeting, okay. So do we need to approve that now? We don't do it until you
No.
change order.
Correct.
Okay, so then all we need for you to finish up on your storm then is to approve the pay request 3.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on pay request 3? Okay, is there a motion to pay the, how much was that?
Mr. Downey, you're okay with all that?
Yes.
And then we're supposed to be, right? Everything we're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, we unforeseen lowerings, yes.
Well, way he talked the other day, there should only be the one more, which would be the mulberry, right?
Yeah, yes, oh, yeah, but I mean, which, that's one of the bits here, but we'll get into that when we get.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, when we have South Church.
No.
Oh.
Or,
Oh, oh. Okay. Okay, so is there a motion then to pay claim number 3?
I'll make a motion to pay claim number 3.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay, Missy, now what?
Would you like to move on to the water project? There's a lot more, Andrew gave me lots of things. So these would be, okay, first we'll talk about pay app number 5 for ISI. So, this covers the period from September 17th to November 11th. And the total completed during this pay period was $202,621.29. Retainage withheld was $10,131.06. And payment to the contractor would be $192,490.23.
Okay, is there a motion or any discussion on that pay claim? Let's see. We have 5% retainage on that, right?
Just take one.
Do I have any questions on that? Okay, is there a motion to pay this pay claim 5 on the water grant?
I'll make a motion to pay claim number 5 on the water grant.
$192,490.23. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, so we got pay 5 done. Now what, Missy?
Change order number 5. So this was for different size capping sleeves, valves, and pipe for connection points on line E, which was the water main under the railroad. The original size sleeves, valves, and pipe will not be claimed by ISI, so this will result in a net increase of about $1,150.
$1,150? Now, which one is that?
This is change order number 5.
Okay.
I think you might have had a typo in his email. I think it's $8,150. 5.
I don't think I have that. You guys have that one?
That's for going under the track.
That's what I would send, change the location.
$8,000.
I don't think I got that.
Okay.
No, if I did. Do you want to see it or here?
Yeah, what was their wording again?
So I guess there were different size capping sleeves, valves, and pipe for the connection point for the line E water main under the railroad. The original size of the sleeves, valves, and pipe will not be claimed by the contractor.
Now, is that the same thing as amendment number 5 on the agreement?
Nope, that's next.
That's it. Okay, I don't have that one in your.
Everything was a 5 on the water tower. 3 out of 5.
And it's 8,000 something?
8,150 is what he.
Is that
Okay.
why we had to use the different valves?
As I said, okay.
Not that I can think of, if we would have had to. Well, that is possible, because since they had to go a little bit farther north, they had to install. Is it possible to get a line change on those, line item changes? To show what that amount broke down is?
Yeah, actually, I think it's in the attachment to the change order.
Oh, is it?
The justification for the
Here,
over
let's
8,000.
let Jeff see that.
Sorry, for the breakdown.
Okay, I can see right now where it makes sense now. What they had to do was, where they were gonna tap into it was a 12-inch. And where they ended up having to tap into it was an 8-inch, so they had to heat some tap sleeves and everything, valve box and all that, so.
That'd be $8,000.
um,
That's $8,000.
Well, I can, I'll show you, 3,800 each to put, to install plus the valve.
Well, we've been installing valves. I mean, the valves are, you know.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
Let me
that
see
works,
that one.
right?
Let me see that one again.
Yeah, water tower, so that must work.
Yeah.
Well, here's a 6-inch valve that is one that we're going to use. Now, this is a 6-inch, it was 817, so then you have,
That was part of it.
no, this is something totally different, but I'm just, so a 8-inch valve wouldn't be surprised if it was in there.
You don't have any of this. That can go with this.
No, this is,
All right, where are we?
Okay, that's where we're at. Okay, Missy.
So
Did we make a motion?
Well,
Oh,
that
no,
was-
I'm sorry. We need to pay her. Okay.
just
I
to
was looking at
clarify, that was
something.
actually 7 something. And then
78,
there's, yeah, and then
7800.
then for, I can go figure out what it's at. Yeah, it does make sense that they had to do this secondary.
It's listed as change order.
Okay, is there a motion to pay the change order that we just had come through here?
For $8,000.
8,000 something. What was that total on that again? 8,150? Okay, is there a motion to pay that?
I move that we pay the $8,150 for change order to the Wayne River Railroad.
Is there a second? I'll second that. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, now what?
Okay, now amendment number 5.
Amendment number 5.
Amen.
Amendment number 5, we got that.
Okay, so this says, upon request from the town, the amendment adds $1,760 work with Jeff Downing to identify existing valves not operating properly that can be replaced.
Now, this one, is this the one that I talked to Dylan about like Thursday? Or is this, you don't know?
Possibly. No, they did it for today. Well, that doesn't tell me much.
Well, it doesn't really, it just says, oh no, that's a different one. Because this is just valves, period.
Yes,
Last
this was
time
for-
we talked about that, about how we-
Yeah, this is valves only. Okay. Okay, is there a motion? Anybody have any questions on the amendment 5 to the agreement? $1,700 to identify the valves.
It's amendment number 5 for $1,760. And we would, we pay that now.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now what, Missy?
Okay, now I just have a bunch of reading.
No, no, wait a minute, we got some more here.
Well, there is Kenna.
No, we got a Westler,
Yeah, there's Westler.
and a Westler, and a Westler.
You want to do those first?
No, what are these? Are these?
Those are invoices for
Oh,
ours.
okay, I got you now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, okay. These are all, okay, that's all Ken. Okay. Okay,
I don't have copies of those, so.
of these invoices? Okay.
So do you want to do those first, or do you want me to read the construction update? Okay. So contract A, which is the water mains, well, and treatment building, Andrew says ISI is finishing up the remaining work at the treatment building. Substantial completion date is December 15th, 2016. All water main work is done. Westler will complete as-built drawings once received from the contractor. All well work is complete except for well number 4. The hydrant is not operating, so they cannot flush the well and water main. Substantial completion walkthrough with the town and contractor will be scheduled to identify any remaining punch list items to complete prior to issuance of final payment.
Ask him to look. Go ahead.
Okay. Then contract B is the elevated water storage tank. The tank was sterilized the Friday after Thanksgiving and was filled last week. Phoenix will obtain 2 bacteriological samples before the tank can be put into service. Once the tank is put into service, the old tank can be drained completely. Phoenix will help coordinate this with the town. Substantial completion date was December 1st, 2016 for the tank to be in service and the old tank demolished. Phoenix had the tank painted and ready to be filled by November 1st, but did not fill it until last week because the water main to the tank was not completed by ISI until November 16th. This delayed the demolition of the existing tank accordingly. Phoenix will be submitting a response on their intended substantial completion date with the delays they incurred. The date will likely be mid to late January after the tank is the site fence and site restoration will be completed. Westler will be on site to inspect the tank fence as it is being installed. Okay. Then I have a request from TIC for additional funds. Are you aware of this?
I think they were supposed to get back to you.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, so TIC submitted a revised letter to Westler with more explanation and justification for an additional $5,600 in inspection fees. Westler will have an update to the council next month
Okay.
on how much of that amount will be the responsibility of Phoenix to pay based on effective work on the tank. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I have one more item, additional scope items and remaining norm amount. He said it is estimated that approximately $80,000 will be left in the loan/grant. That will be available for the town to use on additional engineering and improvements to the water system. Westler is currently working with Joel and Jeff on determining the priority of additional improvements.
Okay, Jeff looks like it's gonna be, we'll get all our valves.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions on projects? Question?
they give us the okay to start using the water out of the tank. And we just, it's a go from there. And what do we do with the water in the other tank? Is it coming out at the same time? As far as the levels or drain?
No, I would probably monitor the oak tower and use it so it gets pretty close to empty, and I'll shut that valve off and put the new tower on. So the testing, they asked me if I could do it, and I'm just too busy, I can't, so Phoenix is gonna send a guy down to do it, which was the way it was supposed to be. They were nice, they said, we'll reimburse you, we'll do this, we'll do that, but I just can't do it. So I think they're gonna draw the first sample tomorrow, and they have to wait, they have to do a 24-hour period, and then they draw a second sample, and I get the results back for that, and I'll say yea or nay, go ahead and use it. I'll shut the wells off and drain that tower down, so it's not completely full. And then when it gets about a quarter or so, then I'll just turn it off, turn the oven on, and turn the wells back on. Yes.
I had, I had a call that, somebody the other day that we've been, is a vendor of the town for something else.
Oh.
And they were really, like the tower. And then Dylan called me and said, you might use it in some of your marketing stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so now we have 3 Westler invoices to look at. Okay, the first one is $37.50, and this is professional services for 10/1 to 10/31.
And that's stormwater, I believe.
Well, they're both stormwater.
There's
Both of
two
these-
of them.
There's 2 of them from Emily, they're stormwater.
Yeah.
One for $37.50, and the other is $16,687. Okay.
So the 3750 is for our in-office, the time they spent, and then the 16, that's for the inspector on site.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I guess I have a question on that, and that's the lodging charge.
Okay.
Have we always paid lodging
I believe so. That was in the original contract.
for a hammer? $1,200, $1,282.80
That's for him to stay
at the
software,
software.
yeah. So I think,
Now, what is it?
see, so he's from Evansville,
Oh,
and so he can't drive back and forth like Adam did.
okay, okay.
So that's what,
That's
that's
that,
what,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, we have 2 claims on the storm side. Now, do either one of these come out, do we know that
They don't come,
come out of our match, or they come out?
they're going to come out of grant
Great.
fund, the 16 and 37.
Okay.
The other ones.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we pay the 2 Westler invoices, one for $37.50 and the other for $16,687 for a pay period, or for the period services of October 1st to the 31st. Now, is there a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, opposed, same sign, okay. And then the next one we have is from Dylan, this is on the water side, right? And it is, continued on page 2, $5,393.03. And anybody have any questions on that one? That is the same pay period, or same work period, October 1st to the 31st. Looks like it's Andrew, Adam, Dylan, Andrew, and Dylan. Okay. I'll make a motion that we pay the Westler $53.93.03 on the October invoice for water grant. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, we might as well talk about it while you're here. Our January meeting is scheduled for the 2nd, which is the town holiday. So you guys need to decide, do you want to meet the 9th, which would be a week later? Sometimes we've met on that Wednesday the 4th. What do you guys want to do? Dixie?
I can meet on Monday.
Okay, you want to make it the 9th? Are you available the 9th? Okay, is there a motion to change our meeting on January to, well, we'll just make it, we don't need a motion for that. Or we'll notice it, right, that's all we have to do. So, yeah, our meeting is on January 9th. Okay, Missy, thank you.
Anybody stand up there waiting?
Meet on the door, Mark finally came, but I don't know what happened. Got locked out.
Well, they just got beaten louder.
It turns hard, it turns hard. Okay, so we have, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. So we have, what, 3 from Kenna? 2. Oh, 2. What's this? No. $5,000 for November, $4,000 and $1,500. Water, and storm.
Oh, here it is, yeah, it's there.
Water, and storm.
Yeah.
So we have September grant administration and labor standards on water. And we have $1,500 for labor standards on water. I understand they did their payroll audit, is that right? Do you know, Sharon, is that?
No,
they
he
did it?
didn't tell me.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that's what that was. So, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we pay the $4,000 and the $1,500 to Kenna on the water project. You need to be paid out of local funds.
I'll second.
Now, wait a minute.
No, those are, he's got on here paid out of local funds, but they're not paid out.
The water, and, no, wait a minute, the stormwater is to be, that's part of the match, $5,000, that is going to be part of the match. And this $1,500, well, he said he paid from local funds, I would take that to mean that would be paid by us, towards the match.
Well, he says separate contract, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and then the other one, the $4,000 is from grant funds.
Yeah, that says grant funds, but this one says.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure
Okay.
what he means about that.
This invoice is for the separate SRF labor standards from the start of the project, May to now. So, well, I'll make a motion that we pay the 2 invoices, $1,500 and $4,000, and that you verify from him what that is on the SRF. I'm almost positive that's payroll audit that he had to do. But as far as where it would be paid out of, if it's out of water, it's out of water, and if it's out of grant funds, it's out of grant. I know SRF don't pay it, so, or it can't come out of SRF.
I'll second that again.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. The last one that we have is paid from our local match, $5,000 for their grant administration on the storm for November. And I'll make a motion that we pay that $5,000 Kenna on the storm for November. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That takes care of it, right?
Yes.
Sheesh. Boy. Okay, 3 months, 3 months of time, it's just a lot of paperwork. Okay, we have where is it? From Becky on adjustment. Adjustment on wastewater, or, yeah. Do you know about this one?
Yes.
Okay, you want to tell us about it?
Customer had a leak that he wasn't aware of, it was in his yard next to the house.
I think I got a $249 bill, I bet you got to wear it real quick.
Yeah.
40% adjustment, it's wastewater only, correct? That's what she's down here. Okay.
Yeah, he's legitimately, yes.
Is there any question on this adjustment? Is there a motion to make the adjustment?
I may make the adjustment for 640.
Is there a second? I'll second. Okay, all those in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, that takes care of that. DPW, you're up.
Okay, obviously, we covered that, we're working on with the storm sewer and the water. Let's take care of the damage orders and what's on order, so getting that kind of much for you there. The two bills in question is one from utilities supply, which I was trying to figure out what to do with these, but it comes up that, because I was talking to Dylan about it, since Reed's done work, but that doesn't apply to water grants, so we're going to have to. Okay, the first one is, well, let me do this in sequence that way. They ended up having to, and talking about the line lowering, Highland, or Park Street, just west of Highland, where well one is at. They had to lower a line there. Plus, in addition, there was another line that takes off from well one that ties into that main that runs down Park that takes off to the south, and they ended up having to lower it. Well, during that process, we were talking about probably a 6 to 7 hour shutdown of the whole town. So I had them put, and it's going to be better for future use, there was no shut off for Park Street. There's no shut off for, well, Park Street, there's other ones, but anyway, there was no shut off except for at the tower itself for anything that runs down Park. So I went ahead and gave them the okay. I supplied the parts and then to do the labor. Put a valve in on Park, just off of Highland. So that way, if we have any issues down Park going west, that it is, we can shut that off, and it does not shut off the whole town because it still will spread on the main that goes down Highland and then the main that cuts across through the parking lot of Mary's. So I made that decision, instead of having to shut the whole town down for 6 to 7 hours, had it only shut down for 2 hours, and that cost for parts was $1,158.40, not through utility supply. And the second thing was, when they were doing the flooring of those two lines, the fire hydrant right there at that location was one of the very old fire hydrants, and they had to adjust it when they were lowering the lines. So I said, yes, let's go ahead and put a new fire hydrant on there too. Those parts on it, plus the fire hydrant, that's $2,412.60. So we just requested the town. Okay, the bills.
Both the same outfit.
Again, yes, parts. On the parts on both
Utility supply.
yes,
And both of these will be paid out of water, right?
yes.
Okay.
And just as an example, the bill, the fire hydrants, the 35 vehicles, that bid plus labor was 30. If that's all that occurs, it's just replacing that bill is around $3,500, I believe. So the hydrant cost plus parts of $2,413, and then you figure their labor. I mean, this is all. I'm just giving you a focal point on what something like that does run. That some other outfit comes in, puts it in, and installs the hydrant. So it's a not partisan line is what.
I mean, the money we're spending now to do this, so people down the road should really appreciate it.
Oh, well, there's no doubt they were emergency that I chose to not shut the town down. It needed to be done, so it couldn't fall under the contract. Once we get done with this extra money in the water fund, which I will do, because it will be scheduled, it won't be an emergency situation, then we should pretty much have the town pretty much isolated within a 2 to 3 block area in any one place. Should be, yes. Should be.
I just wish people would understand that when something like this happens,
Well,
Jeff can't stop and call. You know, I mean, because you can't stop working, you know, that's what I heard from so many people. Oh, why did they tell me, you know, you know, he's in a
it's the
hole.
same problem.
It's just in the show.
It's just
That's
people
okay.
get off on that. I mean, when your electricity goes off, what happens there? It's no
Yes,
different. It's a utility. It's a utility.
When our conveniences go.
Yeah, when your phone's off, it's a utility goes off, but you don't see all that on, the Facebook and all that spots. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
It's a utility. It's no different than electric, phone, or anything else.
Okay, so let's back up here. You got a utility supply for how much again? What are your 2 invoices?
2 invoices, one amounting to $1,158.40. The other, which is the hydrant, that one was the valve, parts for that. The other one was the hydrant, the parts for it was $2,412.60.
So we need 3671 even, right?
Yeah, utilities.
671 utility supply paid out of water account.
Yes.
Okay, is there a
I
motion?
saw that.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll get that taken care of. What else you got, Mr. DPW?
Well, Kim went pretty much over the thunder. Adam was down, we've got four hydrants that I'm gonna have SSI come back out, so we can check the hydrants, because there's a full fluid, everything into the valve. And we're making a priority list on what we want to get done, and we're going to figure the cost on that, and then see how far down the list we can go. My number 1 priority is to get the hydrant out at well four, moved more towards the road for 2 reasons. One, the chemicals can get into the system and make it out to the hydrant, so I can do a little bit better testing. And we're going to have 2 valves on it. The second reason is when we flush them down, obviously that's a dead end that goes out to John Hickey's and everything. And I'll be able to flush them, and they won't be getting every bit of crap that's going out that way.
Okay.
That is about it. Obviously, you heard, we were assistant fire department, which I always do assistant fire department, but we had a couple incidents with the poor young lady that fell out of the tree. I was just really grateful to the gentleman, who is a Morgantown resident, flagged me down and stopped and said he really appreciated the help. I hauled him and his wife back actually from the scene up, through the woods and everything, all medical equipment, the soap basket and everything, so. Because, we're all community, we all work together. So,
Okay, what else? Anything else? Always on me like you're off a visit. Now, good. Okay, now, do you have any questions from DPW? Mark, Penny?
Are you, everything's ready to go for the first snow?
I went through I started out, I haven't heard the clouds in yet to make sure they work, but there should be no problem. I mean, not quick, because they've been in the garage, the spreader, it does have a couple of bearings that it froze up because it catches every bit of the salt that goes down the spreader chute, so, I should get that part back within the next 2 days, so it should be ready to go. So, yeah, I'll hear from them, yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it won't be for a while.
How about Mr. Town Marshal?
We had a busy month.
Did you ever?
We took a total of 60 calls. And since statute citations, 3, 11 warnings, there were 8 criminal arrests, 3 for 1 long warrant, and 5 were from new charges. Some of that stemmed from some of the vandalism in town during the Halloween decorating. And undecorating. Took place.
Yeah.
And then we had our special detail with the Santa train the other night. We had 4 officers out, and that was including myself, and talked to a lot of people, and weather was nice, and people were nice, and things went pretty well.
Very well.
So I think that I was pretty impressed with the first time I'd seen the Santa train here. First time I'd seen the Santa train anywhere, actually. But I came back out and came up and it was worthwhile. I was really impressed with that. And got a chance to talk to a lot of people. And a lot of kids, I guess I made it on Facebook to open somebody's candy cane for them.
Oh, well, it is.
Now, things are broke off. Things are broke off. But anyway, that went well, and I think everybody enjoyed it. We had a lot of people that stopped by and would step and talk on the way out. And a lot of and I think a lot of that attributed a lot of that to the weather. But looking at the traffic pattern, might consider changing it a little bit next year. Park the people here first and then let them go out that way, because we were giving the street to the people pushing buggies and strollers and whatever, and that was better for them. There were a few trip hazards down there, but not too bad, and there were no incidents because of that. But after the detail starts, we don't let anybody come back in unless they're handicapped and parking in that lot, because you have too many people mingling around, kids are running different places, and everybody's excited, and so it's just hard to commingle traffic and kids at the same time when it gets busy. But I was very pleased and impressed, and there weren't any complaints. The next couple of days, no yards torn up or anything. And in fact, there were some people who came out and said, hey, if they want to park, they can park in our yard here, or park, in different places. So that people were really cordial, and I was very pleased.
It is it probably is the one night of the year where Morgantown, our population doubles.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Jeff Connors, and I was telling him that I'd probably come back in town about 5:30, because we better get back in town about 4:30. And so I did. I left. We staggered some shifts and had some coverage all day long, and came back in town at 4:30, and it was already, there were the cattle, in here, they were already at 2 or 3 rows full. It was loud in there at that point. But there at 7:30, it rolled out, and I think they gave tickets out, and I think it scared some people. Number one, they thought they were going to have to pay for them, and number two, they thought they were afraid the tickets would run out, and then they wouldn't be able to get in. And I saw one of the gals, and I think just they gave tickets to the children, and they want the children to have something to give to Santa Claus. And then it also gives them a count of how many kids actually came through. And that can also give them a timetable. If they have 200 tickets out, you can pretty much estimate how much time it takes to run 200 kids through there. It seems to me like there was about 4 adults for every kid, or a lot of adults in attendance with the kids, and they had just as much fun as the kids. But anyway, the Santa train was a huge success. And,
Now, before we move off of your month here, I just wanted to go over this. You had 4 warnings, right? And Officer Connors had 2 warnings, right?
Right.
And Officer Swank had 8 arrests, 4 citations, 3 state statute, and 5 warnings. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, he had 8 arrests. Okay.
Now, some of those arrests, there were arrests that he and I worked together on cases. There were arrests that Connors and he worked together on cases, and then there was one that Brown County brought over a capture course. And so some of those arrests, and then I think 2 of those arrests were on a call we took to the county that was outside and on Hayden Road, or on near Old Morgantown Conservation Club out there. So yeah, some of that wasn't all inside.
No, yeah, I understand that, okay. But I just wanted to make sure that I was reading the word.
There's your good here. Yeah, you picked up out there.
I did have the guy selling meat out of the back of his truck started at my house.
Oh, no.
And
What was that?
it was about, you were on vacation. Anyway, he stopped at my house and I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna make a phone call and they'll come over and give you a permit. That guy was off my porch and they were gone. Because it was about 6 o'clock and anyway, town hall would have been closed. I said, hey, I think anyway, he was gone. I just can't believe that they got a freezer in the back of a pickup.
And what are we selling?
Meat.
Oh, yeah,
There.
okay. We're back to your new truck, or Explorer, back to the Explorer.
Back to the new vehicle. After they decided that we would go with the Explorer, I called Boyd and Ford and talked to them about the state bid, because they have the state bid vehicles in there, and it's on the state QPA. And looking at it, originally I thought, oh, it was close to $1,000. And then as I was comparing some of the equipment, it didn't have a spotlight, because they order them in, because some departments have detected cars and they use, they were pretty stripped out. And by the time we added some of the things that we really would like to have and need to have on there, it was only a difference of maybe $200 or $300. So after looking at that and doing without some of the other equipment on there, and the delivery time is not going to be any different. So I looked at the bid again that Matlock had prepared, and they had some wheel covers on there that were $58, and I haven't deleted that. And looked everything else over really close, and we were able to just do a readjustment of $26,381 versus I think it was $26,400 and something was the last one. And I think the state bid was $25,600 something. But that's without a spotlight. That's $375. That was almost half of what the state bid didn't have. And some of the pre-drilled headlight housings and the things for the lights, the state bid did not have those. And by the time that your installer drills those and does what he needs to do, you have the difference wrapped up in that. So it was almost, this is probably $100 by the time you get your necessary equipment. About $100 to $150, a little over the state bid. And with Matlock, I just felt like it was probably better to go with Matlock rather than with the state bid and have him quote another bid.
What you say the delivery time is?
He looked it up today and gave him this final figure, and he said it's got a build code of H, and he said that it would not be built until August.
August? Oh, we can't wait that long.
That's what he said. So what he did was, I told him, I said, well, we're going to discuss it tonight, and hopefully we're going to get it approved tonight. And he said, well, what I'll do is I'll take this order that I have, and I'll throw it out there and see if there's any dealers around anywhere that have anything that's close. And it'll be a police package vehicle, but it may not, we're going to see how close the equipment
Okay.
is on it. So it may be, we may find one, we may not. It may be August.
The current Explorer, it was a dealer trade too.
It was a what?
Dealer trade also.
Yeah.
They had to get it in.
Yeah, they had to get it in, but they
Yeah.
didn't take that.
Well, no, they didn't order it though either.
Yeah, it was a dealer. They found it. They found it.
Your current Explorer,
Yeah.
it was a dealer trade.
Yeah, they found it.
Yeah, they found, yeah.
They found it in Illinois.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon.
Okay, and this, do you know, the Ford lease?
This will be another
Ford
Ford
lease.
lease.
And just a quick figure here, we're, both of them total together about $34,000.
Right, and that's an estimate on on the front, and the computer and docking station, we have $2,500 in grant money that we should be able to carry over. That should take care of almost all the computer and docking station. So if we can use the current radio, we can use the money for the current docking station. But I would like to see us put an external bar light or a light bar on it. The interior lights are not as expensive, however, they do restrict your vision quite a bit. And it does light things up as well. You don't recognize it as a police car. I've had people get up to my quarter panel and passing me, and then they get up there and they go, whoa, and they back off.
That was
Not me. Yeah. But anyway, that happens quite often. But that, and the push bumper, after going through at Brown County, what we did with these Explorers, hitting a deer and having an $8,000 repairs on some deer damage because they had to replace the steering column and everything, it damages everything. The push bumpers are well worth the money for the light impact and the deer. It does help protect that. Siren control and switch panel. The switch panel will be the panel that controls all the lights and everything through the siren control. Those aren't that for $400. Those ones that's in Congress's car now have been in and out, in and out, in and out. They get loose connections, and before you know it, you get heat build up, you get a fire, and that's how police cars are burned a lot of times, the faulty wiring. And that's been used quite a bit. So I would recommend we go with a new siren control and switch panel. And that's an external speaker as well. It mounts on the outside on the push bumper. The rear compartment partition is something that is not in the current Explorer. What it does is if you're transporting prisoners or whatever, it keeps them from being able to reach in the back and get anything, or there's things back there that's stored and whatever. It just keeps them from doing that, or even reaching back there and getting cut or getting hurt on something else. And it's a polycarbonate partition that has a screen on it that you can talk through, you can see through, you just can't reach through. The gun vault, that is the way society is anymore with our shotguns and rifles and everything. Police cars are a target, and the business need to be where they're at, they're a target. So I would recommend the gun vault. The keyless entry remote start could be on a factory is about $300 for the factory option. But the factory option doesn't give you the remote start. If you have the remote start on it, what it does, I didn't like it at first, but it makes sense because they put it on this car. If I lock it with the fob and I unlock it with the key, it will not start. It won't start. And it's kind of a security thing too, because you have to lock it and unlock it with the fob in order to get it to start. I mean, you can leave the key in it and lock it and unlock it with the fob, it will not start. Because believe me, it's done to me twice. The first time I put the battery charger on, I couldn't figure out why I had a good battery and it won't start. And so we finally figured it out, and then it happened to me again, and it didn't take as long to figure that out. But anyway, I recommend that. The graphics on it, probably about $750, and if it's a little more to include the extra Morgantown, like a Morgantown in script, 6 to 8 inches tall, and down one of the doors on
vicinity that the black police cars come, but they weren't sure where it was from. And I just think it needs to be able, or you need to be able to see Morgantown on there.
And I think with that, I think it will be and look good.
Yeah.
And it'll be distinct, you know, if they see that blue on there. No other police department around here has got their name of their town on there in blue lettering. And so, yeah, I talking to Jim McDonald, the train engineer out here at Santa. He said, you were in Bloomington yesterday. And Gretchen couldn't get my haircut, so I had to go to Bloomington, back to Bloomington to get my haircut for Friday night. And it was Thursday night. And I said, yeah, well, he goes, well, I was beside you at the railroad. I said, I looked over there and I thought, Morgantown, you know. So he saw the front, and it was Jim McDonald. And I rarely ever drive the car. And, you know, go to Bloomington to get my haircut. And Jim sees me. But anyway, he didn't recognize that it was a Morgantown car because we were stopped at the railroad track down there letting a bus out. But anyway, I think the Morgantown is a good idea. I'd like to have, there's just something on the back of that, of my car, you know, I'd like to see Morgantown police on the back of it so that people see that when they're buying you and not when they're recycling.
Now, do we need to make a motion to proceed to order the cars or whatever?
If that's what you want to do, yeah.
Okay, you guys discuss this.
All right, let me understand this. On your docking station, the $3,000, you say we need that or we don't need that? We need everything you have listed.
Well, we have the money, we have $2,500.
But we still need to list it.
And the computer in the reserve car has just given it. And so what I'm doing with my computer is, when the guys work the weekends, I'm taking my computer out of my car and putting it in the reserve car for right now. And so, I mean, we have been preparing, and Marvin is preparing, to replace those computers. And I think that probably the best thing to do is in the summertime, take that one out of the reserve car and bring it inside, in the wintertime, because it's extreme heat and extreme cold, so it's hard. But we have $2,500 that can go toward the computer docking station. And that's an estimate, might take care of all of it.
See, it's on your fund report, police department grant, it's sitting right there, 251005. So we have that in.
So let's just, if we give the okay for a dollar amount to be spent, not to exceed that, we should be okay. Because if you're able to get a dealer transfer, all the stuff you're wanting to put on here will still go in, right?
Yeah, it will, yeah, because it won't come with this stuff on it.
Right.
It won't come with light bar, it won't come with push bar, it won't
Right.
come with any other stuff on there. So, you know, this has to be, and I just threw those estimates out there. I've been researching different brands and different things and looking at quality stuff, but not top of the line stuff. It's stuff that's very good, very serviceable, and talked to 3 or 4 different installers. They told me what to stay away from, and what to, you know, be cautious of, and because it doesn't last in some of the different brands.
So if we make a motion to, okay, the purchase of the new police car, not to exceed $34,000, we should be okay.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Because that stuff
that-
adds up over
Well,
here.
yeah, but you take 2,500, so that's only 500 difference on the docking station,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, it adds up, you're right. Oh, 30. So is that your motion? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that we give Marshall Becker the okay to spend no more than $34,000 on a new police vehicle. And try to get one ASAP because the old car was just going to nickel and dime us. No longer we hang on to it.
That's a motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Okay, discussion? No, it's not ready. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Now, I'll be the one that has to sign the lease, so we'll need your lease figures right away. Okay, but we won't know that.
Yeah, we won't know that until we get
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying,
Locate car.
we will have a special meeting on the 29th or the 30th. Might as well talk about it now. Do you guys want to do the end of the year meeting Thursday the 29th or Friday the 30th? And we can do that We can do that during the day. It's just the end of the day. Okay, well, we're going to do it on Thursday the 29th.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, and you're off, so we can do it anytime, right? You don't have a school bus. Okay. So you want to make it 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just our year end.
Okay, another question. On the car that we're going to, are we going to sell this car or?
Sell this car for whatever we got.
Okay, it'll be being surplus equipment and it'll be gone.
Yeah, I don't, it's gonna cost us too much money to keep it. We sell it as is, or
When we sell it, we get the cash and it's gone.
Okay.
And that's another thing, I don't know, once we get this car in, we'll have to go through the process to advertise it or whatever you want to do, and how you want to do that. But it is not what we keep for us.
No.
No, we do not want that. Okay, so you have 2 other things attached here.
I do.
Okay, so,
What I've been doing some,
did you get his stack? Okay, he's got 2 things. 2 things he has there to look for the park. Are these go for the park?
you know what?
Are you gonna post these at the park?
Well, these are just, this are 2 different things that I would like for you to consider, and then talk about trespass, and we can, ask people to leave if they don't leave, maybe we can trespass. Or, and that puts them in the criminal aspect. Or we can go, and I've looked at some of the other cities and towns, and from talking about an ordinance that regulates who is at the park and what the hours are, and then you could regulate no parking, there. You could regulate a lot of different things through, and it would explain in the ordinance, what it would regulate. But most of it's parking, loitering, and other violations of people being there when they're not supposed to be there. Basically, trespassing, but it's not the criminal side of it. Then you could write an ordinance violation. I think most of them were in the area of $50 fines for ordinance violations. But you can write and do it as an ordinance, so I was thinking that basketball courts, the ball diamonds, even the lagoons, we run people out of the lagoons before where they go back there, the lagoons and the area behind the DPW, including the DPW in that area as well. And, that can be, included in that ordinance. And this would be like a sample sign or something, just an idea. So at first, my thought was that we would just post it and say this facility closes or this location closes at dark. Doesn't really take care of all of them, because all of our problem doesn't happen after dark. Sometimes it happens before dark. And so there needs to be a way to at least give us some authority on that. And if they're in the parking lot, or if there's certain other activities going on before dark, an ordinance might explain that and spell it out. And I found some, mostly with major cities and towns, and those are the ones who usually post them online anyway. I didn't find any of them with the smaller cities and towns, but I've seen signs like this a lot, and then they post local ordinances, such as put on the sign. And so that would explain what their ability, why they would be there, and with authority to remove them if you had to. So I guess what I'm asking here is that instead of doing the trespass sign and do like the first thing, we can get rid of, some of the unnecessary loitering after dark, might consider doing an ordinance that regulates all the town properties.
And did you ever,
Probably not much.
Well, they may actually. Did you find somebody taking water?
Yeah,
probably ought to at least have the ability to do that there, the park, ball court, that kind of stuff.
But what you can do on the, like the lagoons and the criminal trespass, what that does is if you post it and then they are aware, you don't have to ask them to leave.
Right.
If it's not posted somewhere and you ask them to leave, because we, cite them in for criminal offense of trespassing, and they go over there and, they may file it, they may not, depends on, the severity of everything. Well, they just walking across the property or, whatever the excuse may be. However, if it's posted and as even an ordinance violation, then you can at least take some action. You don't have to go through the criminal process, which is, a higher standard.
Right.
And that way, it gives you a little more authority, and the penalty's not severe.
I just think the highest standard and the greatest, the most severe penalty ought to apply to the lagoon. Because nobody ought to be there whether it's dark or not dark or anything.
Oh.
Done it for their own good.
Yeah. So we may just want to treat some of those properties slightly differently, but the idea that we have an ordinance as opposed to a criminal trespass on the other places where people are encouraged to spend time during other times of the day, that seems kind of harsh. So.
And then also in the ordinance, couldn't you explain that the lagoons are a different
Yeah.
town property and that would be considered a different treatment?
Right.
Than lagoons?
Right.
I mean, and that would be clear notification
Yeah.
of that.
So we just want to work on it. Want us to just work on it?
Why don't you guys work on that? Is that okay with you
I mean,
guys?
yeah,
Are you
it's-
okay?
Or
Okay.
the parking is separate.
Or just a bit paragraph.
Yeah. Right.
That specifically separates it from the, parks. And,
Do you have a lot of trouble there now?
They're back there every once in a while. I can't say that per se that there's been any criminal mischief or anything, but you can tell people's been back there.
And we've been leaving the gates open at the ball games. The guys been driving through every night, on the night shift. And that seems to help somewhat. It gives them the ability to drive right on through and not be, somebody pop a fence, you can't drive, get out of the town, down and move the gate at their door.
We might think too, we don't have any, do we have any park regulations? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we do at all.
I don't know, any animals or alcohol or mischievous conduct.
And once again, I read through some of those other ordinances,
That's
and
pretty common.
they address all of those things.
Right.
And that's what
That's why we
I
have
think.
to do Wyland. I'm just looking at what we have to do Wyland. If we're going to do this, we might as well also just have some rules, so people, when they're supposed to be there, are behaving. We don't want them damaging the property, and fires or whatever, but, are there grills and areas
No.
where, and no open fires, we don't want those in cars and stuff like that, okay. We'll see what we come up with.
Okay, anything else, sir?
We got a nice thank you from
Nice.
the people down, I'm taking my glasses on, turn. Anyway, while I was on vacation, I think I was on vacation then, I got a call from Jeff Jackson. He was filling in for, I think, Jeff Connors or Ryan, one of the two, on Saturday or Sunday, and he calls me at home and he says, hey, Chief says, I want to ask you a question. So I've got a gal here that hit a deer up by Dale's Gas, and says, no, it's in Johnson County, and she's tried to get somebody to come out. She drove down here to Morgantown, and then since she drove down here, they won't come out. They won't come out, they won't do anything. He says, would you care if I would do a pressure? I said, no. I said, I think that would be the thing to do. And went ahead and explained to him, you can't do the diagram, she moved the car. But I said, number one, is the car had apparent damage that came from a deer. Oh yeah, there's hair all over, whatever. So anyway, I said, I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I think that's great. So he did a crash report for him, and at first, which was a little, to my surprise, I found out that later that these people were retired IPD officers, and I thought they may have known some of this. Well, I guess we got a call from Becca, gave me a note when I got back, and it said to call this gal because she didn't want the crash report. She was wanting a comprehensive report. And what I think the insurance company told her that it would come from a comprehensive, and they were just reported as comprehensive. And so she got a crash report. Well, that's part of that. We just crash report. Your insurance company then will be part of your comprehensive. She thought that was going to cost you money so she misunderstood that. That's why I think she went ahead and wrote the nice thing. But I thought that was good for Jeff Jackson to step up and do that for her, and we do a lot of extra things for people, and sometimes we get that, and sometimes we don't. But anyway, that was very nice.
Okay. Okay, old business, I will tell you that, hopefully, if everything goes as planned, our January 9th meeting, we will have to roll out our new website. And another thing on the police, Jeff has talked about, we have, who knows how many people, putting trash in the recycling. And if they continue to do that, we could lose our recycling. Yeah. So, and I came Saturday morning early to put mine in. Their trash with coffee grounds and everything was already in there. So, he's talked about camera in that. So just so you guys know, there's a possibility that there will be a camera out here, a security
If you
camera.
put your trash in there, you need to stop.
Yeah, so you know. No, I know you guys wouldn't do that. But we have a lot, I mean, that is just such a wonderful thing. They empty that every Friday. And I brought some more today, and it's almost full.
Why they started it twice a week.
Yeah, it's
I think maybe that's after the first year for it to, just for, Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
And we might even put a sign up.
Yeah,
Cameras,
exactly.
you know, and
Surveillance.
because there's a pole across the street there, and there's no utilities on it.
I don't read those other two sides.
Telephones on
Good luck on that.
Well, but anyway, I think the only thing to do is put a camera up there, and then we'll have to figure out, what trash that goes in there and what's recycled. Sometimes it's pretty hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I think that once we see what's going in there, obviously, if they've got it bundled up and tied in a bag, looks like trash, we can start looking at that. Okay. But anyway, I do have a camera.
Okay.
And as soon as I get the mount figured out, we'll put that out.
Okay, we have two things from you. What do you got?
At least.
At least, don't oh, yeah. Pennies, order
Yours,
paper.
take yours, but you
Penny
may want
order
to
paper.
Anybody else?
Okay,
Are you ready for this?
yeah.
Every year, you've done this before, Dixie hasn't, but every year you have to sign a certification if you have not at least knowingly violated the nepotism law or the contracting with relatives laws back in 2012 or something. The General Assembly adopted new legislation that would more closely monitor, if some relative getting favorable treatment by an elected official. And they wrote into the legislation that elected officials have to certify that you haven't done anything wrong. Of course, we know you haven't, but this is a requirement every year to do this, so please sign it. And it's supposed to be delivered to the council president,
Oh, that's
so we ought to leave it with you.
okay.
The other thing about this is it's actually written that the state board could refuse to fund our budget if we don't do this, so we got to make sure we do it. Okay. What else? What do you want to do next?
Yeah, well, you had the other, what else you got? You got
I have the golf cart ordinance. Can we do that?
Can you do that first reading?
Coming around, Mark, take one. Send it on around. They'll take one for, Sheriff. I don't know what the number yet will be. And then if you would take one of these two. other things that he's done since he's been on board here. He's reviewed some ordinances, including this one, and made some suggestions on changes that would make it better. So you'll see that this looks an awful lot like what we had before. I think what has been added substantively that changes it is on the second page, in the second paragraph, subparagraph G, no golf court or golf cart or recreational vehicle while being operated on the streets shall be used to tow, pull, push, or otherwise assist any other vehicle, trailer, boat, sled, skid, or any other device or conveyance. I think we wanted to make clear that you can ride on these things, but not really use them to propel anything else. And that may look pretty much the same, with that exception.
This is the first reading.
This is the first reading of 2016. You have to know what it will be. We'll get a number assigned before you read it final, but whatever the ordinance number will be, this is an ordinance amending ordinance 2015-7, regulating the operation of golf carts and recreation.
What was another change that you had made to this in?
That's what I was.
Is it renaming it recreational off-road?
Well,
There was some.
No, something about a four-wheeler, because the way a passenger is seated
Oh,
on
a
the
passenger.
yeah, that's
That
right.
was it, the
It was
passenger.
factory seating and
Yeah.
right. That was right.
Factory seating.
I looked again at that definition, and I guess I don't think that you want to approve four-wheelers and ATVs, which can be three-wheelers, on the roads. When we talked about this and adopted it originally, it was all about what we call side-by-side, right? Which are gators, right?
Stuff like that, yeah.
And I don't think we wanted the four-wheel with one person that sits on it, or a three-wheeler with one person who sits on it. I think we just wanted these things that were more akin to golf carts that would carry several people. And so I made it a point not to change that in this. So we really are sticking with these recreational off-road vehicles. And the definition is in our original ordinance, and that was 64 inches or less, less than 2 tons. No, less than 2,000 pounds. Yeah, less than 1 ton.
Listen, one.
Right. But there is a strict definition of recreational vehicle, and I think we talked a lot about it when we adopted the ordinance to begin with. And I don't know what has happened in the last year that would cause you to want to change that. My sense is we don't want to be adding more different kinds of vehicles out there. So,
Well, I think the original thought behind that was the fact that in reading the definition in the ordinance, it doesn't exclude four-wheelers. Four-wheelers, if you read the definition of the off-road vehicle in there, it has the same tires. It's less than 64 inches. So it's still qualifies. It was more than 64 inches. So I think where it comes in that because the DNR and they're for off-road purposes, they allow both types of vehicles. However, for the golf cart ordinance, we were only going to include side-by-sides.
right.
So a part of that definition, and then so if we adopt that entire definition that basically the state of Indiana, the DNR has done, we have excluded off-road four-wheelers. And that would probably, because I was looking at that and read it over and over and over again, but I think it's because DNR doesn't care. Four-wheelers and side-by-sides are the same to them. They're all, off-road still haven't totally separated them by definition. Because if we read that definition, I believe we still are defining the four-wheeler. Because it's one or more passengers.
Well, we've got golf carts as defined under Indiana Code Section 913, and recreational off-road vehicles as defined in 233, what may be operated on the streets. I think we've excluded. We're saying these are the only things that can be. We've got to accept as specifically permitted herein. Golf carts and off-road vehicles and off-road vehicles may not be operated. And then we say golf carts is defined under Indiana Code section, and recreational off-road vehicles is defined in that section.
And that's where I
May be operated.
think that's where we need to look at that again to make sure we're not including.
Well, we are. That's the precise reason for it, because recreational off-road vehicle is different than off-road vehicle. And recreational off-road vehicle is that one that is the only is 65 inches or less in width, has a driveway of 2,000 pounds or less, is designed for travel on at least 4 non-highway or off-highway tires, and is designed for recreational use by one or more individuals. That's what we allow.
That defines a four-wheeler. That's exactly what a four-wheeler is.
Is 65,
Inches or less,
okay?
one or more
Work
people,
this out. Yeah.
and the tires. So it's all that defines a four-wheeler.
Off-highway vehicle is 60. Okay, so is that not what you consider a side-by-side?
No.
What's considered both? It's considered both.
Yeah, we consider both. It doesn't define how it's steered or how it's straddled, or, if you go into where if you have to straddle it, to be either the operator or the passenger, then it's a four-wheeler, if you have to straddle it. And that's what I'm saying. Under the Indiana code, they don't care. And, they allow them
Right.
parks and they allow them on these areas. It doesn't matter. They're not excluding four-wheelers, they're including four-wheelers. And but if we use that same definition, then we're including four-wheelers in our definition.
Well, then how do you distinguish a side-by-side from a four-wheeler? What is the difference?
That's why we have to say it's the way it's operated. If you have to straddle it like a motorcycle or it has handlebars, there's not any four-wheelers I know that have a steering wheel. And
Oh, okay.
every side-by-side has a steering wheel.
Okay.
And you operate it with, normal flip-type pedals, brake and throttle control. They have throttle control, both probably on the handlebars, but the side-by-sides don't have, they have an accelerator for throttle control rather than have a throttle on the handlebars. And you don't straddle it. So, that's what I'm saying. I think we need to separate that because we're clearly
Something
including
that you could
four-wheelers.
put in there, I don't know, that's about like same seating configuration as a golf cart. I mean, that would be a good.
Well, side by side.
Yeah, side by side.
Where the driver and the passenger sit side
Or
by
designed
side.
for more than one?
No, not more than one, because then you get, well, we don't have to have this at night.
No, we don't. So then what, so we're not gonna get by with this, with the statutory, we can see the statute does off-road vehicle, then within that says recreational off-road vehicle. But we're gonna need to add our own modifiers that we choose.
Exactly, to eliminate the
The
four-wheeler.
ATVs, yeah.
So then we'll just carry this over?
Yeah,
Okay.
if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
And then the other thing I passed out was the application,
Application, yeah.
which I think with Jeff's help is a lot better than what we had before. And I've taken out the waiver because I don't think they have any value. And I actually think sometimes it complicates things even more. These folks are operating these vehicles on the road subject to our rules with insurance for proof of financial responsibility. But if they waive, the town's not responsible for it in the first place. I almost think sometimes the argument is made, if we asked for a waiver, we must have felt like we had some liability that we wanted them to waive. And my point is, we're not liable to begin with. And so I would rather eliminate that if that's okay. So you can look at all of this and
We'll look at all of it.
I'll work with Jeff and we'll get a description of the type of vehicle we think can be driven on the road.
Okay, when you, one question, when they do go in and get their permit, they get it from you or?
What I would like to see us do is because, she's busy doing other things. And there's some people come in and they show financial responsibility and some people don't. They say, well, I'll bring it back in. Some of them never come back in. Now, this is where I argue the fact that we may be liable because if we go ahead and issue a permit and don't know that they have financial responsibility and something happens, we have given them a permit, we've authorized them. So they're flying under our flag at that point. And as long as when they make application for it, if we know they have insurance, and it's no different than the B&B. You know, when you go in and get your registration, you have insurance, we can inspect the vehicle for the type it is, what type it is, and seat capacity on it, and whether or not they have financial responsibility. Then, if we can fill our portion out, they can go to Becky and have her give them a permit and sign off and collect the fees, and she takes care of the financial end of it and the actual giving them the permit. It's almost the same process as a VIN inspection for a title. If they call the police come in, you're verifying for B&B, all this stuff is correct, and then they just take their paperwork and they see.
When they fill out the front page here for the permit, they also get these other 2 pages that tells them what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Would be my recommendation. I think we should give that to every applicant that has it.
But, you know, and they need to know.
We want them to know, we want them also not to be able to claim they don't know.
Yeah.
So, back to the liability piece.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I do. One other thing. On the fuel dispensers, anybody have you like on those? I know you're covered up.
I've got all the information we need, but yeah, just haven't had time to tell people.
I copied the statute on residential.
I think we're okay.
Okay.
I mean, yes, that's a good system to go to. I mean,
We just hand it out. That's all.
Okay.
And interrupt me if you're wrong.
I've got the other piece.
It's a good system. Yes, we do need to go to that, but as far
Here's,
as
this goes with it.
related
We have one
to
of
the
those.
problems,
This goes with
right
it.
now, no, I don't think so.
Love it.
I reviewed what bills I had marked and what it's come, and it looked like the 2 that were in question were off cycle. And because it was a while before I got this last one, and there wasn't that much,
Okay.
everything was accounted for. Everything.
That's all.
No, we are, but I mean, as far as just needing it pronto, no, it's not been forgotten.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys received from Lee, the chapter Indiana Code of Regulation of Residential Leases, and then also a copy of the Morgan County Health Ordinance regarding rental properties. And these are 2 things that we will discuss later, but so make sure you can look at
I
them.
had some more. We have a,
He has,
I need to, oh, you do, okay.
And so these are just things that we will talk about. We have had some problems.
This is pretty common in other areas.
Yeah, oh yeah, people are going to this more and more. But we've had some problems with rentals. The person that is causing the problem isn't the person that's renting the property. And some of them have been some pretty serious offenses. So these are just things that we will review and we'll look at, and we'll talk about. One of them, like I said, the Morgan County Health Department ordinance, and the other one is just a regulation of residential leases. And a lot of places have, where rentals have to be registered. It's very common, $5 a year, but then you have a registration of all your rentals. And so